Welcome back, tribe. Have one here from Big Ward, the genius. And it says, attention, young men, don't get married or have kids. Let's see if he's about to drop some wisdom.
Good evening. Today is still Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. I am back with another email topic. And I'm going to rub some people the wrong way, but the people I'm trying to help, that's all I care about at this time, at this moment right here, which is young men. Listen to this, young man. I got a message for y'all if you hear you after I read the topic. I read the email. This is a 28-year-old man, right? He was married for 7 years, separated for 1 year. His wife just up and left him and took the 2 sons. She won't let him see the kids.
By the way, if you guys want to write me emails like this, I'll keep it anonymous and I'll read your stories out loud, the good ones, and we'll have a discussion about your story. So submit those in, tribeofmen@yahoo.com if you're interested.
I want to have them call him. I want to have kids call him. Both are under 6 years old. 2 young boys. For whatever reason, the mom, or whatever, she wasn't happy or whatever. The marriage didn't work out, whatever, she wasn't happy. Whatever happened, she took the boy and left. She said had them up they were living in a nice, big, beautiful home, pool in the backyard, well taken care of. She had whatever she wanted, whatever. I don't know her side of the story, why she left, whatever. I'm just going off what he's saying. But for whatever the reason, they didn't work out. She up and left him. Okay. She wasn't happy the relationship didn't work. I don't really care why she left him unless he was like abusive and dangerous or whatever. A threat to the kid. Other than that, let the man see his kid, even if y'all don't work out. That's what's best for the kid. But let me go on. He said he still provide for him, but there's no communication with the mother. She's rude when we talk, and she talk real crazy. He's a man or scorned or whatever, who knows? Like I said, I don't know her side of the story. She might be a rude person, I don't know. But she only messages when she needs something. I keep all the messages for the lawyer for when when he don't, that's what I was going to suggest, take it to the people downtown. So he getting the lawyers together and all that, keeping all proof and information. I'm doing what I need to do for myself, spiritually and mentally. My problem is not her seeing other men, because I know she's going to do that.
Jeez.
I just don't want other men, there's a problem of having other men around my kids. And the thought of them calling some other man daddy. Even though they know who I am, she says they don't because they're so young or whatever. So basically, she's trying to hurt him by telling that. I'm divorced, right? Recently divorced, same situation. She didn't up and take the child, I just left the house. I let them have the house. I did. How she gonna get the house anyway? But anyway, I ain't want none of that shit. It was so messed up at the end, I didn't want nothing. You can have it. I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna take care of my son.
It's messed up when you see the divorce laws in the United States compared to other countries, like not in the West, how fair they are. Like here in Romania, whoever has the highest income gets the kids. There is no state supporting single motherhood at all. There's no help that they can get from the state. If you become a single mother, you're out on your own, along with the whole slew of other things that are advantageous. I don't even want to say advantageous, but in the favor of the person who earns more money. So if it's the woman, she'll have the advantages. If it's the man, he'll have the advantages. But here being in a more traditional, and look, India, it's like outlawed basically, or the Philippines, I believe, actually outlawed it. And they may have changed it, so now it's possible. But still, from what I read something recently about India's trying to criminalize breakups or something like that. It's crazy. The difference is, it's insane. Only in the West is it tilted in a woman's favor to such a degree that men would rather never get married at all. Like the risk is too great. And the courts will absolutely destroy you. And you have no recourse. You can't afford to go through a long legal battle just to come out 50-50 on the other side. It's not winning. It's so bad that men consider not getting absolutely destroyed in court a win. As in, I lost my house, but she didn't take my pension. That's a win. Seriously? That's what we consider wins here. I got to see my kids half the time at least. Like, we're hoping for scraps.
So I held on longer than what I should have held on, trying to make it work, right? Trying to work it out. She didn't want it. She made it clear she didn't want it. I didn't even give a damn. We had got to the point where we weren't talking no more in the same house. It was fucked up. I didn't even care about the marriage no more. I didn't care if she stayed out all night long, didn't come home, whatever. I just wanted to be there with my son because I was trying to prevent other men from being able to be around my son. So that's what I was trying to do. That's why I held on so long. That took a lot of shit, a lot of belittling, a lot of disrespect, just for the sake of not leaving my son to other men being around him. And I thought that was going to be the end of the world. That was going to be the worst thing ever. And my son was young when I left. And I had, it was just an imaginary nightmare of how it was going to be, not being in the house with my son and her with other dudes around my son. You know, I already pictured what it was going to be like before it even was like that. But I just knew that how it was going to be. And I didn't want that. That's what you don't want. That's the main thing you worried about. The other men around your kids. And that's what a lot of us worried about. That we leave our kids behind with the mother. But I want to encourage you and let you know it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Now, I ain't have to do all of what you're going to have to do to see my kid, because she didn't keep my son from me. She didn't do that. So I'm grateful to her for that. I didn't go through this part that you're going through with not being able to talk to my son. I was still able to come get him. Me and her were just done. But she didn't interfere with me and my son's relationship. So I was blessed on that aspect. So I don't hate her and have no ill feeling toward her because how we didn't work out. Because of what you're going through, I didn't have to go through. But if I did have to go through that, what you're going to do is you're going to be patient. You ain't going to do nothing stupid. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You worry about shit that's irrelevant. Your son calling my little daddy. Long as you do what you need to do, you're going to be there where they're going to know you their daddy. I don't care who she dating. You're going to be there, whether she let you be there or not, because you put the white folks in it. Her ass going to jail and she don't abide by that court order. She gonna go to jail. You don't need her permission to see your kid once you put the white folks in it. If you doing everything you say you doing. So you're gonna lay low, get your ducks in a row, get your money right. Well, you say your money already right.
By white folks, he means the justice system and the judges. So basically what you want to do is get a lawyer ASAP if things are looking like they're going south, or you've already had the talk of splitting up, or you should have been game planning and preparing for this day, regardless, months in advance, because you've already seen the signs. Stop being Mr. Fix-It. This is the problem most guys are doing, is they're trying to stay in there till the last minute, hoping they can change her, hoping they can change the outcome and they could fix something that's already broken irreparably. She checked out years ago, checked out well over a year ago. There's probably another guy in her mind. She's moving on, and you should have already prepared, game planned, had text messages saved, had stipends, any money you've been making, any money she's been making, the joint accounts, all the money in the accounts, everything. Your lawyer should be going through your entire potential case in the future with a fine-tooth comb and figuring out strategies for you to not end up destitute with absolutely nothing, because you are going against bias in court that's towards women and will absolutely wreck you. Get a rock-solid lawyer. Protect yourself.
Get your lawyer together.
There it is. See?
Go down there and file your petition or whatever for divorce. If she ain't already filed, you go and file. Go and file for divorce, get that shit over with, and file for joint custody. That's it. Don't try to be rude to her, all that full custody. Be fair with it. You want joint custody where she can't do nothing without talking to you about it. Moving and all that.
Your only move is joint custody. Unless you have some rock solid evidence of her being a bad mother and the kids being at risk. And even then, it's a nightmare. They could be drug addicts. They could be a bunch of things. And still the court will side with the mother in the West. It's so insane. So even then, okay, go for 50-50. That's the starting line. Then you can maybe ask for more if she shows herself to be a bad parent. But in the very beginning, you have to show the court that you're interested in the best outcome for the kid, because that's the best strategy you have in order to not get absolutely reamed by child support. Default losing. Believe me, I've seen multiple friends go through this exact process and have come out the other side with barely any scratches, simply because they played it fair in the court's eyes. And then later on, years later, when they're going back to court to recalculate child support or recalculate who's taking care of the child more, because sometimes here's what happens and this happened with one friend. the visitation rules get set, who gets the kid at what day of the week and when you're supposed to pick them up. The mother was falling behind on schedule. The mother was allowing the father to have the kid for extra days longer. The dad, for a good year, was logging all this information. Then he went to the court and showed the judge, hey, I'm taking care of this kid more than half of the time. She's not putting in the allotted hours. She will refuse to pick up the kid. I have to drop him off. Here's all the texts. Here's all the screenshots. Here's all messages, proof of what I've paid for the kid extra, so on and so forth. Once you have all that documentation and proof together, then you can go to court and be like, you know what? I want primary custody because I already have primary custody. This 50-50 is a sham. And then you have a chance because now she's got to explain why she behaved that way for an entire year straight. I've seen this happen. This is a good way to eventually win primary custody of your kids because let's be honest, some of these women only care about ripping you in court. And once you do get 50-50 custody, they're really terrible at showing up on time, dropping the kid off or picking the kid up. They make it hell on men. Ask any divorced guy. She'll be rude with pickup and drop-offs. God forbid you have another woman and you've already moved on. Oh my God, you should see just how difficult they will get when they see you with a new woman.
That type shit. File for joint custody and your visitation rights. You're not giving up your parental rights. None of that. You file for divorce and you want joint custody. And y'all work out what y'all gonna do with the property in that divorce procedure. Don't even worry about the material shit. I left all that shit behind. Didn't give a damn. So you make good money. If you have to leave some shit behind, the house, whatever, fuck that. Just make sure you have that relationship with your kid. Go get your lawyer.
Facts.
File for divorce. Joint custody. And fight from that point on. That's what you want. And you ain't bending. No, you ain't bending. Joint custody. If she ain't filed, you file. Don't ask for it back. Don't try to work it out. I'm sorry, unless you fucked up. But even if you did fuck up, don't go back begging. Let her calm down. Even if you messed it up, don't go try to ask her to come on back, baby, give me another chance. I'm sorry, I'll do right. Don't do none of that. If you messed up, apologize and then keep it moving. Let her decide on her own if she want to come back to you, if she want to forgive you. Because a lot of times, woman to calm down. Especially if you ain't begging and running behind. If you run behind and beg, you're going to make it worse. You're going to make her hate her. Not hate her. You're going to make her hate you if you go to begging. She's going to lose all respect for you. So even if you was wrong, you know what happened. You know the whole story. But just say you were wrong. That's why she left. Something she ain't happy about that she said you did wrong when she left. You just lay low. Don't worry. Don't harass her. None of that. You know what I'm saying? You handle it through the court. Since she don't want to cooperate, you take it to the court. And don't have no more dealing with her. Deal with your lawyer and get your lawyer to contact her. That's how you gonna do that. She ain't gotta call you. She ain't gotta do none of that. You got to be patient for a little while. The kid not be able to call you and whatever. It ain't gonna always be like that. As long as you don't fuck shit up, it ain't gonna always be like that. So just deal with that for now. That's temporary. Not being able to see your kid. A lot of men go through that early on in the beginning. That's what the court's for, when you're dealing with a bitter ex. She ain't gonna always be bitter. So just weather this storm right here. It ain't gonna always be like this. Don't worry about no other man around your kid. Your kid gonna know who you are, I promise you. If you plan on doing what you need to do, they gonna know who you are no matter who she dates. You gonna make sure of that. But right now, you're gonna have it the legal, correct way. So, hold on, y'all. So, that's how you gonna handle that. Be patient. Don't let it drive you crazy. Don't worry about no men around your kid. Millions of men that have to deal with that. You're gonna be all right. I promise you. You'll get used to it. Cause eventually you're gonna start dating and you might be around somebody else man, some other man kid. Unless you want them you ain't gonna date no single mother. But other than that, if you're gonna date one with kids, you're gonna be around some other man's kid. We all deal with that. So don't even worry about it. Even if you don't get in a relationship with a single mother, if you're sleeping with one, you're still gonna be around another man's kid. So get that out your head about another man around your kid. That ain't it don't be like what you think. It ain't as bad as you think. Especially if you're an active father in your kid's life, you ain't gotta worry about that. My ex-wife, she done had a couple of relationships since we've been apart.
Damn.
All separate ways. And my son know good and well who I am. If she got a boyfriend, she called him Mr. Such and Such. That's it. But other than that, ain't no calling them daddy, because I ain't finna have that. Because I'm there. As long as you're going to be there, they'll know who you are. You can't see them right now. You will be able to do it if you handle your business. Now, that's your solution right there. Plain and simple. Don't make it nothing extra. Don't complicate it. Be patient. You can't see your kid right now. Okay. I know that's painful or whatever. It ain't going to always be like that. Because you're going to do what you need to do. Them white folk going to help you out when you're doing the right thing. They're going to be in your corner when you're trying to do what you're supposed to do. That's it for that. That's it. No 10-point plan. Get your lawyers. File for divorce. File for joint custody. Let the court process play out. That's it. You can't see your kid right now. She tripping, but eventually you will. Just hold on. You got a lifetime to do this. This is a marathon, not a sprint. If you don't be able to see them a few months, you still be able to see them for the rest of their life. You're going to fight for the rest of their life, not these few months you're going through right now. You're going through a few months battle to win the lifetime war. So this is just temporary. Just hold on for these few months, however long it takes to get everything ironed out of court. You ain't the only one that dealt with this, and you won't be the last.
And exactly, but this is why a ton of guys are just getting passports and going overseas so they could avoid this entire situation altogether, because it's happening all around them. They're seeing it from older men. They're seeing it from their friends. They're seeing it everywhere, all over the place, all at once. The statistics tell you it's terrible. The biases in courts tell you it's terrible. The divorce courts tell you it's terrible. Every part of society tells you it's terrible right now to get married as a man in the West. So guys are leaving. For the ones that can and want a traditional family still, they're going overseas because that's the only place that you can have a fair chance in court. A traditional woman that wants to be taken care of, wants to be a homemaker. All the things that a man is looking for in a traditional lifestyle exist overseas instead of this nightmare. Imagine you're going through a court case, a battle just to see your kids 50-50. Then in the degenerate dating pool that we're in today, the culture says that your kid is going to be exposed to multiple men throughout just a couple of months span because mommy's just running through straight up on the carousel, just hopping from horse to horse to horse. That's wild. He has a right to be upset. He has a right to be worrying about other strange men around his kid. Think about that. You think these guys, man, we know what they're like. We're meant to, that are smashing single mothers, do not care about the mother at all. They're just getting some easy peasy kitty. And that's all it is. Women keep mistaking that for real love and interest, but a guy's just getting his rocks off and then moving on. And then you got little 8 in there opening the door and being like, mommy, mommy, after a whole session is done. And the guy's just bouncing like, ugh, little man, go back to playing with your toys. Wow. And that's the environment the kid grows up in. And then you wonder why we have so many broken homes today in the West. You wonder why society is falling off a cliff, morally speaking. You wonder why so many people are ending up on drugs or pharmaceuticals or on the streets or doing so much bad shit, becoming criminal, all this stuff. Why are so many young boys lost today? Look at the lives that they have to live in the West, man. And it's becoming more and more common. He's just speaking, off his experience personally. And unfortunately, it's not rare, and it's happening in communities all over the United States. This used to be predominantly a Black problem, and it affected African-American community a lot because they got hit with this strong independent woman bullshit message in the 70s. Early on, they were splitting apart Black families. So they had to deal with it. It was almost like they were the test. And then it got rolled out society-wide, and now it's affecting everybody. It's like, damn, it was so successful in breaking up the nuclear Black family, and it had destroyed Black culture so much, and had regressed people so much. Why don't we apply it to everybody else? Because we'll always be in power. Essentially what's happening here. At least I think so. They were the test beds for the degeneracy that we're seeing today, and now it's applied with a broad stroke against everybody. Why? Because it's an easy way to control people. When you have somebody raised in a broken home like this, where they have to be constantly going between 2 homes and strangers constantly in the home, where do you get your sense of security from? And if you lack the sense of security, fundamentally, you become an insecure person. Now, insecurity can manifest in different ways. In young boys, it could be getting into trouble. It used to be like starting fires and being a little pyromaniac. Be joining a gang. Could be becoming addicted to drugs. Somehow you're going to end up in jail. And women, young girls, they end up, getting attention from men, ending up on poles. You know what I mean? Selling bodies, all this other crazy shit. This all happens when the father isn't present in the home and the culture itself is rotten all around you. There is no extended family. There is no community. There is no moral railings in society to help a person be upright on their journey into adulthood. There's just jagged cliffs everywhere, and people are falling to the wayside. And we wonder why everything is looking so bad in the West today. Here it is. Here's your example.
Now, I message to the young man after hearing what this man going through. I've said this a million times. People think I'm crazy, especially women. They do not like to hear me say this. to your young men, if you're not married and don't have kids already, this is not the day and age to get married and have kids. I would recommend any young man in the sound of my voice right now, if you ain't already married or with kids, don't do it. This is not the time and place. This world we're living in, it ain't the time and place to have kids or get married. Cause what's gonna happen is 9 times out of 10, I guarantee she gonna leave your ass and take them kids. You ain't gonna be in the house with your kids. Somewhere down the line, she ain't gonna be happy. Cause her mind is poisoned by the society we live in. Her mind is full of poison.
Preach.
She ain't thinking with logic and rationale. Her mind is poisoned by social media, TV, dumbass girlfriend.
Nailed it.
Mama, it was some bullshit.
Got him.
No guidance, no big mama no more.
Perfect.
This ain't the time if you're young. Now, if you're an older dude, you're already married, it's too late for you. I'm talking about you young dude that ain't married, that's just starting out on your journey. Don't get married. Don't have kids.
Not in the West.
This ain't gonna sit well with a lot of people.
Who cares?
I'm talking to the young men. I ain't giving a damn about who else don't like it. Don't get married, player.
Tell them.
Have no kids. Not in 2024.
Not in America.
If you already got it too late, and you finna find out what I'm talking about. If you already got married in 2024 and you young, you finna find out what I'm talking about.
That's your ass.
She gonna leave your ass somewhere down the road when she ain't happy. When y'all life ain't measuring up to what she looking at on Facebook.
Damn.
What she looking at on Instagram. This is not the old days.
Gone.
I ain't talking about back then. It was all right to get married. And that's what we thrive for, marriage and the family and all that. This is not that day.
No, sir.
These are not those times.
Gone.
There's some weird shit going on in the world right now. I would recommend nobody get married or have kids right now.
Demons.
Till we figure out what the fuck going on, what's in the air, what's wrong with people.
It's in the water. Something.
That's what I want to tell you young men in this video, like I said I'm going to do. Don't get married. Don't have no kids. There's going to be people telling you the opposite of that.
Don't listen.
If you get married, watch what I tell you.
Your ass.
Somewhere down the line, she going to want a divorce. She going to want to leave. She ain't going to be happy. I guarantee it.
Damn.
If y'all got kids, she going to take them damn kids. The court's going to give her the kid at first, and then you got to go fight for your kid. You'll be able to see your kid if she don't want you to see him. You got to go to court and fight to see your child.
Yep.
Now, if you're okay with dealing with that, don't get married and have kids while these modern day women. And you're going to be emailing me real soon. If the Lord let us see you and the creek don't rise, you're going to be emailing me real soon talking about Big War. She took my kid and left me.
You didn't listen.
Get it? Got it? Good. Bye.
Yeah. Avoid it at all costs in the West. Believe me. Don't believe me. Believe this story. Read all the comments from all the men, and you'll see for yourself. If you still think you're gonna find your little unicorn or needle in a haystack, or I'm gonna go to my little country and it's gonna be okay on the countryside of this small town and we've escaped the degeneracy, good luck. The court system's still exactly the same. You're gonna get effed. This guy says the stress that a woman puts a man through is the reason why men usually die first. It won't be me though. Don't want to work my entire life just to please another being. That's so crazy, and be responsible for their happiness. Dude, the mentality outside of the West, like in Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia and all this stuff, the guys will tell you it's your job isn't pleasing her or working your entire life to somehow spend all your money on her. It's you guys coming together. She wants to help you. She's feminine. Naturally, she wants to cook for you. She wants to rub your shoulders. She wants to spend time with you. She doesn't want to waste a single penny unless it's with you. Everything is done with you, building a life with you. You guys have no idea how different that is until you go overseas and find a real feminine woman that really wants to take care of you, really wants to have your kids, really wants to be led by you, and you be the head of the household. I'm telling you, man, it's fucking wild what guys are missing out. Like all these Passport Bro videos really can't drive the point home. All the dudes going into the Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, wherever it is that you're watching these videos and they're like having a blast, all these girls partying and all this bullshit. You don't really see what it's like for the dudes that have a woman, a real woman taking care of them. You get little nuggets here and there talking about I've been with my woman for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. She makes my life easier. She makes my life easier. Everything. She's changed my life. If your woman is not making your life easier or changing your life, fucking kick rocks. Kick rocks, honestly. The fact that this dude is expecting to work his entire life just to please another being and be responsible for their happiness is exactly the reason why men are avoiding even dating at all costs in the West today. It's getting worse. Like, men rather do the pump and dump thing and be friends with benefits than ever entertain emotionally a long-term relationship in the West, because the modern women just make it unfeasible. Like, you know what awaits you at the end of the tunnel. It's not light, it's darkness. As I'm 35 with no wife and kids, I grew up with both parents. I came to realize that the traditional family unit, especially in America, is almost over. I know several good men whose wives got bored and walked out and destroyed the family. Those men nearly lost everything once her feelings told her this is not working out for some trivial reason. That's true. If I didn't see it as an example in my own home, if I didn't have a traditional upbringing in the Eastern European style, Balkan style, whatever you want to call it, if I didn't see it in other parts of my extended family where it works correctly, I would probably feel the same way. I would tell you guys 100%, don't ever get married, don't ever have kids, but I seen it. I see how it looks, how it's supposed to be functioning successfully, how it looks in a conservative society. The only way you can have a successful marriage today and raise a family successfully is outside of the United States. Sorry, unless you're a multi-millionaire, you can isolate your family with private tutors, teachers, private doctors. Your woman is being trained like at home, everything. Like, you're controlling the entire situation with multiple millions of dollars, where you live behind a gated community and you have everything available at your fingertips. And, it has to be that extreme for you to be able to make it successful, because other than that, you're at risk of losing everything. If you're not the top percentile of man that they want, you're at risk of losing everything. You're at risk of her getting bored. You're at risk of her cheating at you. You're at risk of her taking advantage of the courts and having your kids taken from you. Like, you require an extreme wealth to protect yourself from the basic fundamentals of what should not happen if we lived in a moral society. Welcome, though, to the West. Morals are out the window. Short-term gain and profit is all that matters. What can I get out of this person? How can I maximize profit? All short-term thinking at the expense of the future. And we operate basically like corporations do. So look, this is the society that's been wrought upon us. You either can tumble around in the mud like a pig and enjoy the shit, or you can take your happy ass overseas to cleaner pastures. Those are your only two options for now. Honestly, there is none. There is the amount of work you have to do to find a decent relationship in the United States, and a decent woman in a decent city that's not being run into the ground, where everything's not becoming radicalized and polarized and blah, 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 and indoctrination here and ideology this. And it's damn near impossible, man. So much so that the investment isn't worth the risk. The Blue Book can change all that. But if you don't believe me, the men in the comment section can tell you nightmare stories of their divorces in the United States, and some of the stories from the guys overseas and how they're doing. And as always, appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, sign up to the private community. Join us on some calls. We do them 4 times a week. Love to have some fresh perspectives, new wisdom. Check out the merch store, get some new shirts. It helps support the channel directly. We don't take any sponsorships or cuck out for corporations. All the links are in the descriptions below, and we'll see you guys on the next private chat. And let me know your thoughts. See you on the next one.